Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book It, Vince, the Wrestling Dream Match podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Martin Bennett, and with me, as always, is the submission magician, Anthony Hall.
The submission magician is...
Who's really good at submissions?
Dean Malenko.
No, he is the man of 1,000 holds. The submission magician is Shayna Baszler.
Yes, that is exactly what I was gonna say.
I'm throwing you.
I was like, is it somebody current? And I was like, oh yeah, this is a nickname that I've heard recently.
Yeah, Shayna Baszler, submission magician.
Submission magician.
There you go. But
boom.
We got an exciting episode of Book It, Vince for you today. We're here. We got wrestling t-shirts. I got my recruitment specialist shirt. Anthony's got his Lucha Brothers shirt on. And yes, if you don't know what we do here on Book It, Vince, we every week fantasy book a dream match of professional wrestling that we want to see. That could happen, or maybe will never happen. We'll see. Never know. Life could change.
Life could change.
Magical things could happen, like Sting coming back. I don't know. But
Book It, Vince, life could change.
You never know. But if you enjoy what we do here, please make sure to give us a follow or a subscription on whatever platform you get your podcasts on, or come and look and watch the video version so you can see our wrestling shirts and see our beautiful faces and Anthony's crazy backgrounds that he pulls up. Maybe he's got one for this week. We'll have to see. He says he does. So Anthony, it is your week to give us a booking. What is your dream match for us?
Okay, so what I have is the King of Kings, Triple H.
Ooh.
Versus one of his NXT creations. Possibly one of the longest serving NXT people at the moment. Tommaso Ciampa.
Ooh. Triple H versus
yeah.
Tommaso Ciampa.
So I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to do it, but I think maybe we want to do current day Triple H and present Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
So, okay. Do you think that this is something that could go forward from like this point in time? Because right now, as we're recording this, Tommaso Ciampa just lost to Timothy Thatcher in the Fight Pit match.
Yes.
So, and we don't really know where Tommaso is going from here.
Yes. I think it is, let's pick it up from right now. This exact moment.
Okay. So, I mean, unless you have any specific things that you want to see, my first thought kind of goes to, it's tricky because I don't want this to be like our other episode that we did where it was Adam Cole versus Shawn Michaels, kind of student versus teacher. I don't want it to be that.
I don't think it's like that. What I do think maybe what a stipulation that could be on the line is Triple H is talking about, maybe he's talking about how NXT has created many stars on the main roster, and it could be time for some stars to graduate from NXT and move to the main roster. I think he lists a bunch of people, and Ciampa is among the names. But Ciampa, I think it's pretty well known that he doesn't want to go to the main roster and he wants to stay in NXT forever. And I think he is like, no, I will leave WWE if you put me on SmackDown or Raw. I think that could be one of the major forces driving this story.
Okay. Interesting. So could it be then say like, you know, we're gearing up for Royal Rumble, right? Because typically there usually is a couple of NXT people that show up in the Rumble.
Yeah.
And maybe Triple H comes onto Raw or SmackDown or something like that and says like, you can definitely expect some NXT faces to appear in this year's Rumble.
Yes.
And maybe it could be what gives the opportunity to someone at NXT to move up to the main roster and challenge for a world title.
That's right. He's telling us right now on the press conference. He's letting us know. Triple H, he's like, hey, yeah, there's a bunch of guys who are really great who will come up and surprise you in the Rumble. I'm trying to think of who might realistically appear in the Rumble this year.
Who might realistically appear in this year's Rumble? I honestly do sort of think that Ciampa might actually show up in the Rumble, but
has he shown up before?
No,
I actually don't remember.
Gargano did, Riddle did, Adam Cole has. I think this year you could have maybe like Roderick Strong or Kyle O'Reilly show up.
Damian Priest, maybe, because Damian Priest allegedly was going to get called up anyway.
You
maybe Bronson Reed.
Yeah,
Bronson Reed would be
good.
pretty fun.
That'd be good. You could have Thatcher.
Yeah.
In the women's
Cameron
Rumble.
Grimes?
Oh, maybe Cameron Grimes to the moon.
Cameron Grimes?
Right to the moon.
Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, you could have you could have oh, what's his name? Why do I keep forgetting his name? Draws. Really creepy. Why do I always forget his name?
Dexter Lumis?
Dexter Lumis. You could have Dexter Lumis. Yeah, you could have Austin Theory. There's a few people in the men's Rumble that could definitely show up.
I feel like Rhea Ripley is definitely showing up in the Rumble.
For sure. Probably Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
Maybe Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, Shotzi would be good.
In the women's Rumble, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So it's like Triple H is saying like that some people might get an opportunity to move up. Should it just be as something as simple as that? Then there's like a video thing of like Tommaso like telling Triple H like, you better not think that I'm going to be moving up to the Rumble or moving up to the main roster if you say so. I'm not doing that. Could it be something as simple as just that, like as the inciting thing, and then Triple H kind of takes it as like it's hard because in NXT Triple H is seen as a face because he gives opportunity to all these people, and so.
But I think he he'll have to do some manipulating, right? Because I don't think he gets into the ring or does anything wrestling related until the match,
right,
between him and Tommaso Ciampa.
But like, I'm just struggling with how to, like, what would Triple H's response be? Because probably if it was like, you better not think that I'm going to be one of the ones to move up. Probably what would then happen is like Triple H would go, oh, no problem. If you want to stay here, it's all good. But how could we justify Triple H being like, if I say you move up, you do what I say?
Yeah,
Like,
well, I think he has to tell Tommaso Ciampa maybe this is an opportunity for Triple H to be less face and kind of move into a more. It's like fading into sort of an authority-esque vibe, but like not being fully heel. Like I think he says, "Look, Tommaso, there's no doubt that you've been one of the greatest superstars in NXT. That you're undoubtedly one of the all-time greats of NXT, but NXT." Right now is a youth movement. We're trying to build up stars for the main roster. We're trying to give people opportunities who have not been given opportunities elsewhere.
And you've had your opportunities.
Exactly.
Ooh, and he takes it so personally.
Yeah, he's like, you've had your opportunities. You've been the champion. You've main evented many takeovers. It's time to let others have a chance at the spotlight. That's why we're going to move you, because it's a bigger challenge for you. You've done everything you need to do in NXT. Why do you want to stay here when you could be on SmackDown competing for the Intercontinental title, when you could be on Raw challenging for the US title, the WWE Championship?
Yeah.
That's just the start. But Tommaso Ciampa is reluctant. He's like, I've seen what happens.
I've seen what happens when you could say when you put people up, but obviously, like, if you're catering to the NXT audience, they know it's that when people get called with the main roster, it's like, it's not because it's not really Triple H's decision.
Yeah.
It's because it's like, I like that guy, bring him up here, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's
exactly.
That's probably what then Tommaso's thing will be is like, why don't you grow some balls and make some decisions around here for yourself for once?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's instead of being told
like, you built this.
Yeah, instead of being told who belongs where and why. Yeah. I mean, it could even just start out with, instead of Tommaso going directly to Triple H, it could be Tommaso going to Regal.
Yeah, that would work. And Regal is the direct person that he would correspond with, because he's the general.
And him saying, like, if Hunter thinks that I'm going anywhere, he can, he can come talk to me personally or whatever. And then that's the kind of inciting incident.
Yeah, he's like, you can drag me out of here.
Should then it get dramatic where then Tommaso is attacked, or should it just be this kind of like really heated, like, back and forth between Hunter and Tommaso?
I think it's heated at first, and then we're gonna have to start seeing Triple H, his powers in NXT of manipulating the people to do his bidding, because he is Papa. So I think they're cutting promos on each other, and I think we get a promo where Triple H, maybe he's not talking to Ciampa directly, like in his office, but he cuts the promo talking about how NXT is made for people who have come from all different places, people who've come from our system in the Performance Center, who haven't had opportunities in the past, and you have. This is the next generation of talent that we're trying to cultivate here in NXT, and you have to give up your spot. And I want you to go up to main roster and prove that all of your training up until this point has prepared you to challenge for these major titles and to show that not all NXT call-ups are failures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
And then that can
Ciampa's
be
like, no.
well,
No.
and then that can be Ciampa then retorting with like, oh, so you don't want what's best, twisting the words and being like, you don't want what's best for me. You want to show that you're like that. This is just for your own self gain. That like what you're doing here is worth it to your stepdad, or not stepdad. Sorry, father-in-law.
To your father-in-law. Yeah.
To your father-in-law, stepdad. To your father-in-law. And you just want me to show him that you were actually doing a good job. Why? Because since you haven't been doing a good job all along, like, and it just becomes battling back and forth of like, it's like Hunter, you kind of start being like, well, is Tommaso just being a dick? Or is Hunter is Hunter actually trying to be genuine and show this? But then you can twist it on its head where like Hunter then just turns and is just like, fine. You don't want what's best for you. You don't know what's best for you, Tommaso.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just trying to make the best possible like product, or maybe he doesn't say, maybe that's when he turns. He talks about the product and the superstars and doing what's best for the company. And that's what like really sours Tommaso Ciampa, because then he's like, well, do you care about the product or do you care about us? Because it's like, because Triple H in NXT is such a lovable father figure, a lovable like developer of talent. Like every champion gets the photo, gets the pointing photo.
Yeah, gets the yep.
So like to think that one of his proteges, somebody who has the ability to go up to main roster, doesn't want to leave, is that a failure on Triple H's system? He's like, no, like people listen to me, people respect me until now. And if Tommaso is like the lone outlier that begins a revolt against me, then I'll lose control of my special baby, my NXT. So he has to squash the revolt.
Yeah. And so like from there, what you could do is you could have, maybe there's then a tournament for number one contendership for the NXT title.
Yeah.
And say maybe, I know we're a little bit away from Karrion Kross possibly winning it back off of Finn Balor, but maybe this gets to the point of like Karrion Kross does beat Finn. And so, and Karrion Kross was the person that when he first showed up,
Ciampa
targeted Ciampa. Yeah. And
he beat him up real bad.
And so maybe there's a tournament for who is going to be number one contendership, and Tommaso's not on it.
Yeah. And
this is where Tommaso can.
Oh, would it be more heat if he is on it, but then gets pulled off and replaced by somebody like one younger, like a new signing who is like a bigger indie name, and then he gets pulled off the tournament? Because then he can attack that person and get back into the tournament, which would make Triple H angry. Or
it could.
He's not. Yeah.
I'm where I was initially going to think of is that then Tommaso confronts Regal and is like, whose decision was this tournament? Was it yours or was it Hunter's? And Regal's like trying to be like, I'm on no one's side here. I'm not on anyone's side here. I'm just doing what's best. It's the whole rivalry could be centered around this one phrase. What's best for business?
Right. That's a classic authority phrase.
Yeah. And so you have, then it's like, I'm just doing what's best for business. And then maybe Tommaso, it could be this thing of like, we don't know who is the real good guy and bad guy in this scenario, because then you could have Tommaso attack Regal. The unthinkable.
Oh, no. No. Why? No. Not Regal.
But it's just because Tommaso is seeing the authority against him, but it's not like they're directly trying to squash him. It's just that he's then taking a hard stance against it. And it's slowly then going to build up to the point of like Triple H being like, all right, fine. And then just throws a bunch of challenges at him.
Yeah. I like that. So yeah, let's say that there's like a number one contendership tournament. He's not on.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't beat up Regal. Maybe he just like threatens him, and it's like,
yeah. But it's like he could, he could at it. It looks like Tommaso is like at
and
any
maybe
point
Tommaso
in time could strike him down.
And maybe he could throw in Regal's face, being like, not like I used to respect you, but like you used to be a tough son of a bitch. You've gotten soft or something like that.
Well, yeah, it's like you used to give opportunities to the right people. Like you're a smart man. You're smart, Regal. But right now, you're just a puppet. You're a puppet. and Regal gets mad, and then maybe because of that, because of what Ciampa says to Regal, that he's just a puppet, that he's being manipulated, that gives Regal like a reason to maybe put him in the tournament and allow him to compete to be the number one. And I think
interesting.
I think he could get pretty far too. I think Ciampa could get pretty far, and there could be like a meeting, like the match that determines who goes to the final of the Eliminator. Could be between like Ciampa and like somebody who is young and like a hot signing of some sort. Like
you could. I mean, you could get. I know he's more featured on like 205 Live right now, because he's currently going up against Escobar for the Cruiserweight title, but you got Kurt Stallion, who is like a hot new like young talent that like WWE was really trying to get, because he was on
Kurt Stallion.
Showed up on AEW a couple times, was still a free agent, and then WWE was like, no, we want you. And so that's a brand new young talent that could be.
Yeah. So like, it's like the semifinals of the tournament, and it's like, oh my gosh, look, Ciampa basically forced his way into this tournament so he could get revenge for being attacked by Cross. And then he gets beat. He gets beat by Kurt Stallion. But Kurt Stallion wins. And then maybe we get a segment the following week on NXT TV from Hunter from Triple H. He's like you tried to force my hand. You forced Regal to put you into the tournament, and look what happened.
Yeah,
it's time for you to move on.
I mean, I think Tommaso gets beat. I think then after that match, Tommaso has like a freak out, like to close out the show, where he like just starts destroying stuff. And then that then allows the viewers and the commentary team to be like, has Tommaso Ciampa lost his stride? You know, that's where you can have Wade Barrett being like, looks like Tommaso, looks like Ciampa, it doesn't have as much fuel in the tank as he once did.
And then Beth is like, maybe it's the injuries from the countless main events that he's been a part of. But it's finally taking a toll on his body.
And then you have Vic Joseph say something. I couldn't think of anything.
You have Vic Joseph, and he says something.
Well, he says something. He probably says something just like, "I wonder what we'll see next of Ciampa." You know what? Maybe. You know, could Triple H have been right?
Oh, yeah, that's what Vic Joseph says. He says, "Could Triple H have been right?"
Yeah.
Is Tommaso Ciampa, could he even have enough in the tank to go up to SmackDown or Raw?
Ooh, tricky. Wade Barrett's kind of more of the heelish guy. So maybe Wade Barrett's like, you know, does even have enough in the tank to compete at this level? Would he even be able to go up to the main roster?
Oh, yeah. I like that. So now Ciampa is lost.
I think then this is where it probably would be Triple H. You're kind of covering up the throne, but that's okay. There he is, the King of Kings.
I'm in the throne.
Okay. There you go. I think then this is where you have maybe it's like an interview with Hunter. Maybe it's not even on NXT. Maybe it's an interview where it's like a work on like Sports Illustrated or something like that.
Oh,
where it's like talking about you know, normal like stuff of NXT and the people that he's helped grow, and then like they throw in a work of Hunter talking about Tommaso, and they throw that in there just to help fuel the fire or whatever, and then that could result in Tommaso coming back and maybe destroying the what's the place that they wrestle now in?
It's got a fun name that I can't remember, but I like that. I like that it's like this work. It's a Pat McAfee style work where it's like, oh, maybe it could just be Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee on his show has Triple H on, and he's talking about
that would work.
They're talking about NXT because we can assume that there's legit stuff that happens on Pat McAfee's daily show, and also the work stuff. When Adam Cole is on, so it could be like, he's talking about NXT. He's trying, like, Pat McAfee is like basically trying to talk to his fans to get them to watch this amazing show, NXT. And Triple H is here to talk about these wrestlers that he's helped cultivate, people who are main roster stars. And then Pat McAfee says, what about Tommaso Ciampa?
It's the Capital Wrestling Center.
Yeah, there we go. Capital Wrestling Center.
CWC.
What about Tommaso Ciampa? Tommaso Ciampa? H? And he's like, I used to believe in him. Not anymore.
Or he could really put him up, like, and say, like, you know, Tommaso. He could say Tommaso was one of the best performers that we have ever had. But
he's one of the best workers.
But with his recent actions, I'm not too sure what else he's able to do in his career. You know, and sort of like, ooh.
Ooh.
This is a battle of just poking each other over and over again.
Poking the bear.
Yeah. And I think then NXT opens with Tommaso breaking. Oh, we got video backstage. And it's just Tommaso destroying the Capitol Wrestling Center. And just trying to draw Hunter out.
Yeah, he's just like wrecking everything, and then he gets the security takes him out, and then maybe this is the night of the tournament final, the Eliminator final, where it's like Kurt Stallion versus somebody who's more well known in NXT, who could be up for it.
Up for the NXT championship?
Like who could become number one contender
against Karrion Kross. That's a big deal. So it can't be it's got to be someone like legit. Can't be anything kind of jokey.
Yeah.
Who's a really good face? I mean, it could be rematch with Finn, but it'd probably make more sense to be like it could be
Kyle O'Reilly.
I was thinking someone from Undisputed. I was thinking either Adam Cole or Kyle O'Reilly. So that could work.
I think Kyle O'Reilly is a juicy enough face. Maybe it's like these two faces could be against each other. This young upstart Kurt Stallion versus somebody who's come very close and maybe is just one step away from getting the title if he just has another shot. And Kurt Stallion and Kyle O'Reilly begin to wrestle each other, but Ciampa, he's not having any of it. He gets in there and he beats the crap out of both of them. And he hits like the fairy tale ending or Project Ciampa or whatever that goddamn move is called. There's too many names for it. He hits it on like Kurt Stallion, and he's just assaulting Kyle O'Reilly to the point where like he takes both of them out, like so that nobody can become the number one contender because he's crushed them, and that makes Triple H pissed.
It could then, I think then you have, security come down, wrestlers trying to separate them all, right? And does Hunter show up? And then Ciampa like tries to like run at him, but they hold him. They hold him back.
Yes, absolutely yes. I think this will be the perfect time for Triple H to actually show his face in NXT as a part of this feud.
And it's this thing of like, what the hell are you doing, Ciampa? Like,
what the hell?
Yeah. Or it's making Ciampa look. It's all making Ciampa look like the bad guy.
Because in a way, he is the bad guy, but his intentions are reasonable, but now
here's where we flip the switch.
Him to madness.
Yeah, here's where we flip the switch. Regal then announces that there will be a triple threat match between Ciampa, or he can say, as per Triple H's orders, there will be a triple threat match to decide the number one contender between Kurt Stallion, Kyle O'Reilly, and Tommaso Ciampa. And then Triple H interferes. Makes Tommaso lose.
Oh, no.
And then that's where Triple H can be like, you made me play my hand. You made me get involved. And that's where you made your biggest mistake.
Oh, but what if, because Triple H is the mastermind of NXT, that he can control anybody in NXT? What if he, instead of him interfering, he instructs somebody to interfere? Who better to interfere than somebody who's presently a heel, has history, Tommaso Ciampa, who can easily be swayed by Triple H than
Than
Johnny
Gargano?
Gargano. Yeah. Huh? Huh?
Yeah.
So Johnny Gargano comes in and like hits Ciampa with like a lawn dart or something like that, and whomever is meant to win this triple threat, I don't know who would make sense to go over in the triple threat. Maybe Kurt Stallion, because it's like a bittersweet win. It's like, oh, but we wanted this, but not like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kurt Stallion gets the pin on Ciampa, and Ciampa is just livid. He's like, I know that Johnny wouldn't do this. That he.
Well,
that
I mean,
been manipulated.
Well, yeah, but I mean, right now, it's the Gargano way.
Oh, right.
Right now, they are
Maybe
like right now they're the biggest heels in NXT. So, like, they're doing what they want because they believe it is the way. You know, it's Gargano, it's LeRae, they got Austin Theory, and they got Indy Hartwell. And so maybe, yeah, Gargano does get involved. And it's like, the history between these two, why would he have done this? And Gargano can be like, it's the way. This is the way. It could be like, this is the way things have to go. And the line that like kind of tips Tommaso off is, this is the way because this is what's best for business. And
then he's like, oh, how dare you? How dare you, Triple H? But what's best for business line is perfect. It's like, this is the way.
Well, I mean,
that is best for business.
It could then result in Tommaso versus Gargano in a match. And it ends up as a DQ. And you have Austin Theory and Gargano beating the crap out of Tommaso. Triple H's music hits. He comes down. Looks like he's going to confront Gargano and be like, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? We can't have this. Maybe Gargano pulls out a sledgehammer. And looks like he's about to take out Tommaso.
Yeah. It'd be really awesome if it's like, Austin Theory is holding Ciampa and Gargano pulls out a sledgehammer. Triple H's music hits. Triple H comes down and is like, he's got to put a stop to this. It's getting crazy. You know? This is affecting bottom line. It's not best for business when these shenanigans are going about. So he gets in the ring, takes the sledgehammer away from Johnny Gargano, and it looks like he's about to reprimand away Theory and Gargano. But then Gargano grabs Ciampa's arm, raises him up with Austin Theory, and Triple H takes the head of the sledgehammer, drives it into Tommaso Ciampa's chest, repeatedly hitting him until Ciampa is just a dead weight on the ground.
I can't remember what match it was in. It might be in a couple of matches, but I know that there's been a spot where Triple H has taken, I know for a fact it's probably a gimmicked sledgehammer, and breaks it over the back of someone's neck. And then you have Triple H holding up the hands of Theory and Gargano.
Yeah, because Ciampa has been known to have neck problems as well. So you could gimmick it where it's like he's like a corpse on the ground, right? So you could get Gargano to like throw in a chair, or Austin Theory throws in a chair, and you could do it to the leg or to the neck. The neck would be way more brutal, obviously, but like I feel like if you did it to the neck, then you wouldn't be able to justify him having a match like a few weeks later. But if you did it to the leg, you could bring back like the knee brace and whatnot. And that could that would make sense at least.
Yeah, and bring back the crutch.
Yeah, exactly. Bring back
as a good callback.
Yeah. So that would be great. Yeah, he's beating him up with a sledgehammer. Then Austin Theory slides in a chair, puts Ciampa's bat. He takes the brace and like pulls it down and puts the chair in place. Takes the sledgehammer and just he's destroying what he created. He is the master here. He's the creator, right? So he's now destroying one of the things he loved. Just just one huge sledgehammer hit, and Ciampa's just like
and it's the common and no and what it boils down to is then it's like, will Triple H talk about his actions? And it could be like a backstage interview with like with Vic Joseph or someone,
Mackenzie Mitchell
someone, and it's like it's a one-on-one kind of interview, and it's kind of like the serious sort of like when McMahon did the Brett screwed Brett interview after the Montreal screw job, that kind of feeling. But it's not, I don't think you then have Triple H feel as though, I think the nuance to this angle is that Triple H doesn't come across as like, I'm maniacal authority figure, I'm all controlling. It's like, it's this thing of that Tommaso just wasn't what was best for business. And Tommaso thought he knew what he wanted, but didn't realize the pressures of when you need to learn to which is really funny that you have Triple H saying when you need to back down, because what was his character his entire run in WWE was inserting himself and getting whatever he wanted because he was, the boss's stepson, or why do I keep saying stepson? Son-in-law.
The boss's son-in-law.
The boss's son-in-law. And like that he kept inserting himself and taking whatever he wanted and doing whatever he wanted in order to get there. And so it's funny that he's saying when you need to learn to step down, and that can be kind of Tommaso's then retort of like, you've been inserting yourself into title pictures and opportunities that you didn't deserve for years and years and years. It's time for us, the people that put our bodies on the line every day for you to get what we want or whatever.
Yeah. This is like a empowerment of the roster.
It is really funny that all this just stemmed from like, you're going to go to the main roster. I don't want to.
But it's more than that, right? Because it's like, from like a larger scale picture, like look at all the people who have recently gone up from NXT to the main roster. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
So he sees this, like Ciampa sees this, and he's not young. He's older, and like he's been in a lot of these like very taxing matches on his body, and I think he wants to wrestle out his days in NXT and put people over and things like that. But the main thing is he doesn't want to go to the main roster, and it's understandable that you don't want that. Like,
and it just grows into this idea of that Triple H or that the people that run know what's best for the wrestlers and what they should and shouldn't do. And so it's this kind of like, it's living out this story of kind of like what, like us as fans kind of see, from on the outside of like that, it sucks that the wrestler doesn't get like someone like, who is a great example of someone that moved up and then didn't really go anywhere. I mean, the most obvious ones are like Retribution, but that's kind of like a whatever standpoint. I think like there's a couple of big ones where it's like moved up, was super hyped, and then what happened?
Well, and Andrade and Shinsuke and even Sami Zayn to a certain degree is like look at them in NXT. Like how pristine, and Asuka's another great example too.
Yeah.
She's obviously the champion right now, but like the way that she was booked at the beginning of her run, and then her losing her streak to Charlotte for no real reason, kind of like puts a sour taste for me, at least, like as a viewer watching these NXT go up. Like, oh,
even like
and Neville.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even like Finn and Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
like for them, they came up and kind of instantly became a big deal and worked towards being a big deal. Like Finn Balor and Kevin Owens are the first two ever Universal Champions.
Yeah.
But look what happened to them. Injury, and then after Finn Balor's injury, what'd he do? I mean, he like, again, all of these people are still like heavily featured on the main roster, but just their star power from NXT to the main roster kind of went,
yeah.
You know?
And also just like tag teams. I mean, I know it's different, but the tag teams really suffer.
Yes.
And also, what's his fucking face? Adam Rose when he went up, and my favorite, No Way Jose. I don't think No Way Jose actually ever really went up, but like, or maybe he did.
He did.
Oh, he did. Anyway,
Yeah.
like, where are those guys now? Where's the Ascension? Like, where's all of these people who got called up too soon? Yeah, and even to a degree, like Shayna as well. Like Shayna got called up, and they made her pretty scary, and then she lost, and now she's in a tag team with Nia Jax. Please. All right, we have to get back.
But
to,
so it's definitely this. That's what this story is going to. So we have now Hunter giving his reasons as to why he attacked Tommaso. And it's that Tommaso was trying to take actions into his own hands, disregarding, he can even pull sympathy of like putting other members of the roster in danger, having no regard for them.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize all the things that I have to think about, or I have to manage.
Yeah.
And it could be this thing of like, it could be this manipulation, sort of victim blaming sort of thing of Tommaso left me no choice.
Yeah.
Tommaso doesn't realize everything that I have to do and all the strings I have to pull for getting, for giving everybody else opportunities. And he took things into his own hands, and I had no other choice.
He's being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
He says all of these things about caring about the roster, the superstars, not wanting to move up because he saw all of these people, his friends, fail to make it. But what he's really doing is being selfish.
That's good. That's good.
What's happening now? Okay.
So the most logical thing is that Ciampa comes back and fights Gargano and Theory.
Yes.
I think then what needs to happen is you have, he probably just shows up with, he has a crutch, an knee brace, and probably just attacks them out of the blue. And probably Gargano, feeds Theory to the wolves.
Yes.
And like the, chicken shit heel that he is, backs away. And watches Tommaso attack Theory. So then it can lead to Gargano and Tommaso having a match. How do we work Triple H into that? And where then this will hopefully lead them to finally confront each other.
Yes. So I think Regal would be there as well. Maybe it's a contract signing because they are trying to set up a match.
Ooh.
And Regal's there to facilitate it.
Right. And it's a match between Gargano and Ciampa. And maybe Regal kind of sides with Ciampa. And because Regal sees the trouble that Ciampa's been going through. And so maybe then it's like the contract agreement is for a street fight or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a hardcore style match. And then Triple H shows up and is like Gargano's counsel or something.
Okay.
And then that's where Tommaso can make the stipulation and kind of challenge Hunter, where he's like, if I can beat this punk, I want one-on-one with you.
Nice.
Is Triple H going to turn down that challenge?
Well, yeah, and a hobbled Ciampa in a street fight against Gargano, and Gargano potentially having other people interfere. Like the cards are stacked against Ciampa at this point. So I think you'd have to say yes.
I think it will show the smugness of Triple H, and that's where like the real kind of heel sort of feeling of him can come out, even where he's like, he's just like, it's like, you really don't know when to say no, do you? You don't really know when. You don't really know when to give up, do you? Fine, you're on.
Yeah, you're on. So this will probably happen at a takeover of some sort.
Yeah, like, well,
or is it just like a special NXT match, and then the Triple H match is on it?
I think it would be that.
Yeah, okay, so it's like a special NXT that features the street fight between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. If Tommaso Ciampa wins, he'll get a one-on-one match with Triple H. So obviously, Ciampa wins. And I think Ciampa is going to set... Actually, I think Triple H would cut a promo after, like in a special segment saying, like, you've won, but I don't get in the ring for anybody. There has to be like consequences for what you're doing. So if you lose this match against me, you leave NXT. And then Ciampa's like, what's in it for me? If I beat you, Triple H, I get a shot at the NXT title against Karrion Kross.
I get my Goldie back.
Yeah, he's like, he gets a shot at getting Goldie back against Karrion Kross. So that sets up something that Ciampa could do post Triple H feud, if he wins.
Yeah.
So the match is set. NXT TakeOver, I don't know, Brooklyn 3. Brooklyn 4. Brooklyn, however many it is.
Portland 17.
NXT TakeOver Dallas 7.
TakeOver New Hampshire.
Okay. At TakeOver Nantucket, it's Triple H versus Ciampa.
At the inaugural TakeOver Delaware.
Yeah, that's right. TakeOver Delaware. It is Ciampa versus Triple H. Loser leaves NXT or
if Ciampa loses,
winner,
he leaves NXT. If Ciampa wins,
Yeah.
he gets a NXT
title
shot.
Whew. Whew. We've done
Big
a lot
stakes.
to get here.
Big
but it's
stakes.
high stakes.
High reward.
I think Gargano, like in the street fight, does injure Ciampa even more
Mhm.
because it's like if he's not going to win, I mean, he's not. He obviously doesn't know that he's not going to win, but like he in the match tries to inflict as much damage as possible so that he has the best chance
They
of
have a
winning.
long,
Yeah,
they have a long history.
in doing that, he has really hampered Ciampa in this match against Triple H. So all odds are pointing to Triple H beating Ciampa and Tommaso Ciampa being sent away. Maybe SmackDown, maybe to Raw.
But I think that Ciampa wins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think it definitely comes from like I think you could, I mean, it's a Triple H match, so I'm sure that they would want it to be like long and winded, but I think at the same time, like you gotta have it be not short, but well paced, so that Hunter kind of messes around with Tommaso because he is injured, attacking, pinpointing the injuries.
I think you have a great moment available here where Gargano comes out with the neck brace to like try to interfere, and he like tries to like slide a sledgehammer into the ring, but like Ciampa just like kicks him off the apron.
Yeah.
And he just like maybe that's like close to the finish because maybe this is overbooking it a bit, but it's overbooked at Vince here. So, so basically, what happens, I think, is like Ciampa is going blows to blows with Triple H. He has him set up for Project Ciampa Fairy Tale Ending, whatever that move is called. And Gargano comes running out with a neck brace, and and that kind of distracts Ciampa briefly, and he tries to slide a sledgehammer in, and Ciampa just like kicks him off the apron, and he gets splatted. But that gives Triple H enough time to recover to put Ciampa into the position for a pedigree.
Yeah.
But it is reversed.
Yeah.
And then Ciampa locks it into the Project Ciampa. Splat.
Does Ciampa have a submission move?
I want to say yes, actually.
I know that
maybe he splats him.
He has the Project Ciampa. He has the Willow's Bell. But if Ciampa could get Triple H to tap,
ooh,
that'd be brutal.
I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does.
I don't know if he does. If he does the Gargano lock.
He has
the Gargano escape, as it's called.
Cloverleaf, it says he uses.
Okay.
So maybe he splats him with a Project Ciampa and gets him into a Cloverleaf and submits Triple H. Submits him.
That'd be pretty disrespectful, but also show that you overcame. Because I think it's either got to be it's got to be a submission finish, or it's got to be a comes out of nowhere finisher. Oh my God, Ciampa gets 1, 2, 3 wins.
I think the finish is the Gargano run in, knocks him off the apron. Triple H gets up, puts him into pedigree position. He spins out of it. Ciampa hits the Project Ciampa, and then he's like, I'm not going to pin him. He's probably going to kick out. Gets a little Cloverleaf and just...
And Triple H trying to make it towards the rope.
Yeah, and he puts like all of his might into the Cloverleaf. Yeah, and he just pulls him back to the center. It just really sinks in, and then Triple H taps. Wow.
And it's like, oh my God, Ciampa just made Triple H tap out.
Oh, damn. That's it. And Ciampa gets to stay in NXT. He gets a title shot against Karrion Kross to get his revenge, to try to get Goldie back. And we don't know what happens because that's another story for another day.
Does Triple H then show a sign of respect?
I think he has to, because at the core of Triple H with NXT is that he's the papa. He's the pointing hands guy. He let the obsession of it being best for business take over his love for NXT. So I think at this point he gets up and he's just like, maybe it's not even like a handshake or anything. He just looks at Ciampa and he's like, and limps out of the ring.
Shakes like nods.
Just a nod. I don't even think. I think, yeah, the handshake is too much. I think he just is like, this is home for Ciampa. He recognizes that, and he's like,
and so it's clear that Triple H sees like, okay, no, you still got it. Maybe there's even a chant. You
still got it.
And it's like Ciampa versus Karrion Kross again, but this time for the title. Pretty baller. Pretty great. I like it. I love deep-seated emotional stories like that. Those are always fun.
And that is deep-seated and emotional.
Love it. Well, there we go. That is Tommaso Ciampa versus Triple H in current day NXT. Could it happen? Will it happen? Probably not. But it's great to imagine that it will. If you have any opinions on how you would have booked Triple H coming back to wrestle against Tommaso Ciampa in NXT, let us know how you would have booked it. Either in the comments of the podcast or online. Now we enter into the final segments of Book It Vince here, and we give you a question of the week and our match recommendation. If you want to submit questions that we read out here and answer on the show, you can do it in a number of ways. You can reach out to us on social media, either on our Twitter or Instagram. Whenever we're looking for questions, you can leave them in the comments of an episode and we'll read it out. Or you can, of course, submit them to our submission page on our website, unknownerrorfilms.com/bookevents, and submit a question that way. This week's question, Anthony, is just a very kind of simple, fun one. It is, if you could have dinner or lunch or maybe even brunch or breakfast or drinks with a wrestler, who would it be and why?
Good question. I think there's different ways to approach this answer. I think there's a go-to horny jail bonk way to approach this, or it's like, who I think would actually be a really, really awesome person to have dinner with. If possible, if I could moderate, wait, how many people are there in this?
Are you doing a faction or something?
Yeah. If I could moderate a table for 4 with the Undisputed Era, I think that would probably be pretty great.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really interesting. Get to talk about their experience in NXT, but then also all of their stuff on the indies, because they all had rivalries with each other on the indies. Yeah,
and Kyle O'Reilly is Canadian, of course, so that would be very enjoyable to talk about Canada. And Roderick Strong has a very interesting path to the WWE, as well as Adam Cole and Fish as well. That would be a good time.
That'd be cool. I would definitely want to. There's a lot of different people that you could say for a lot of different reasons, obviously.
Yeah.
I honestly think that I would probably have the most fun and interesting time getting to hang out and drink with the New Day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because of love for video games, love for nerd culture, just talking about wrestling, but then also just talking about like their experiences and getting to hear about like all the crazy stuff that they've done together. Like that would just be a blast to hang out and talk with them. Also because like you listen to the New Day podcast and they make fun of each other so much. They love ragging on each other. And that would just be I would not be able to stop laughing just listening to them.
It would be great.
Just have a fun night together. That would be hilarious. So
how about dinner with the Mysterios? Ray, Dominic,
too much drama. Too much Murphy?
Murphy.
Too much drama there. No, thank you.
Yeah. Oh man, who else would be great? I think Alexa Bliss is really funny as well, and I think like she like also has great interest in shows like Letterkenny, which would be fun to talk about with her, and it would good times all around. Maybe Ryan Cabrera would show up too.
Maybe, and then I could be like, "Who are you again?" No.
You've got some songs from the early
shoot. I'm just straight shooting. No, I would probably the other person. If I was to pick like a single, or it would hard to be just to choose one of these two. It's funny because my match recommendation is going to get into one of the people I would instantly also do or choose to get to talk to Edge and Christian.
Oh,
two Canadian boys, one of the best tag teams ever, one of my favorite wrestlers ever in Edge. Like,
Kenny Omega would probably be a good one too.
Yeah.
Like video games, Vidya games, the Street Fighter mostly. Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
But yeah, there you go. So that's who we would want to hang out with, have dinner with. Let us know which wrestlers you would want to get to have dinner or brunch or drinks with, whatever. And our match recommendation of the week, this week it's my pick, and kind of hinting towards it before. My pick is an Edge match. Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers ever. And one of my favorite Edge matches ever, I've talked about it before on the podcast, is Edge versus Mick Foley at WrestleMania.
Very nice.
The specific WrestleMania is, it always escapes me, WrestleMania 22. It's the hardcore match. And boy, was that a brutal match. It was so good. It's such a good match. And then I also implore people to go and listen to Mick Foley and Edge separately talk about that match, because they both have really interesting insights. And Edge is such a great talker, and him talking about the match and like behind the scenes of it and everything is so funny and interesting. Specifically about the spot where he spears Mick Foley off the apron into the flaming table. And talks about how he didn't prepare at all for that moment and realized it afterwards. And just talking about like getting to wrestle with Mick in that type of match and the respect that he has for him. So
beautiful.
WrestleMania 22, Edge versus Mick Foley in the hardcore match. It's great. But there you go. That's our match recommendation. Again, you can always check out all of our match recommendations on our website, unknownerrorfilms.com/bookevents. We post them there. We post them on our social media. And yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Anthony, it was a good one. It was a fun one.
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
please let us know if you enjoy what we do here by rating and reviewing the podcast on whatever app you have, or just sending us some loving words online. And you can do that by following us and everything that we do here at Unknown Era Films, by checking us out online at UE_films, or you can follow and talk to each of us online individually by following myself at Barton_Minute, or following Mr. Anthony Hall
At Hall and Jokes on Instagram and Twitter. And also, you could talk to us via the Book It Vince Twitter account at Book It Vince Pod.
Exactly. Thank you so much for listening and or watching this week's episode. Be safe out there. Watch some wrestling, and we'll catch you next time.
I'm doing the hand gesture, but I can't say the word because it's copyright.
Too sweet.
Dose sweet.